Well, I looked at the bailout of Wall Street as an overreach on the part of the government, to be honest with you. In my district, especially in areas of Brockton and some of the poorer neighborhoods in Boston, you have a lot of families. I think there's something like 20% of the people that I represent that don't even have a bank account. I mean, talk about not having a connection to Wall Street. They don't even have a bank account. Yet we, in the bank bailout, we took the tax money from a lot of those families and we gave it to bankers and allowed them to pay their employees who were in many cases responsible for the downturn. We allowed them to pay bonuses with that tax money. We didn't hold people accountable. We did not say you couldn't use this money for bonuses. We saw pass-throughs go to some very, very affluent individuals, and that was basic tax money. And so I thought that we should have had accountability. Remember, no one was prosecuted, no one was brought to trial for that. And I just think we have created a situation now where I think the banks expect to be bailed out, even though we've put some provisions in there, but that might dampen that expectation. But I think at the bottom line is that I think those banks are still performing basically the way they were previously. And I'm not so sure that there won't be some effort at some future point to bail those banks out again with taxpayer money. I think we've not really gone after these folks through the regulatory system. I think that in some ways they've corrupted our entire system so that they are beyond prosecution. They're too big to bring to trial. They're too big to jail. Not only too big to fail, but too big to jail. They actually have a certain insulation from the laws. So, that's a terrible position to put taxpayers in. It's a terrible abuse of the law. But that's, the influence of these rich and powerful individuals, I think, have become so essential to the economy that the judicial system does not want to reach out and hold those people responsible. I would absolutely take the same vote today. And I think in retrospect, I think a lot of the members who are there now would rethink their vote and be reluctant. The idea of the bank bailout, at least the way it was played out, was that we were going to give this money to the banks and they were going to lend it out on Main Street. That was the idea. That never happened. The banks stuffed their own accounts full of money, full of taxpayer money. They did not lend. As a matter of fact, today, a lot of the lending, a disproportionate share of the lending is coming from local community banks and credit unions that did not participate in the bailout to the degree that these larger banks did.